Today we are going to control. Now, first of all, what are the learning objectives of today's session? So, learning objectives are understanding the meaning of statement and what is actually statement block. Then learn about the decision type control constructs in C. Learn about looping type control constructs in C. And learn about nested loops and their utility. Okay. Now, control statements include the selection statements. Now, what are the selection statements? Now, first of all, what do you mean by control statements? So, control statements are the statements which controls the flow of your program. Now, what are the statements that are included in control statement? So, first statement that is included in control statement is the selection statement. Now, selection statement includes the if else, and switch. Now, second type of statement which is included in control statement, it is the iteration statement. Iteration statement includes the for, while, do. Then next is the jump statements. Now, jump statements are the statements which are directly used for the either continue, break, or to return to the code of a block. So here jump statements are continue, break, return. Now, in addition to the continue, break, return, control statement, jumping statements also include the go to statement. Now, this is the diagrammatic representation of control statements, in which we can say as there are three subtypes are there, that is selection statement, iterative statements, and the jumping statements. Now, selection statements includes if else, and switch, while the iterative statements include the while, for, and do while loops. Jumping statements includes break, continue, return, and go to. Okay. Now, what is actually selection statements? Now, first of all, we are going to see what is actually the selection statements. Now, selection statements can be said as the one-way decisions, which is using if statement, two-way decisions using the if else statement, and multi-way decisions which can be by using the if else if ladder, or it can be using the switch statement. Okay. Now we'll see what is the one-way decisions using the if statement. Now, what is the if statement? So, if statement is how we can write the if statement. So, if we see the flow chart in the right side, so if it's raining and the condition becomes true, if it is actually raining, we have to use umbrella. Otherwise, if it's not raining, do not use umbrella. So, in simple words, we can write as if raining, then use umbrella, otherwise do not use umbrella. Now, how we can write if in program? Now, first of all, see the algorithm which is used to print largest number among the three numbers. Okay. Algorithm is first step is start, then second step is we have to print the message to the user that you have to enter the three numbers. Then take input of three numbers which is in the form of A, B, and C. Then we are now considering that maximum number is A. Maximum number is A, that is the first number which we have taken input from the user. Now, if B is greater than max, then we can say that B max is equal to B. If C is greater than max, then max is equal to C. Okay. Or else, if both the condition becomes false, then we have to print the largest number is max. Okay. So, how this algorithm can be written in a program? So, at the right side, program is given for the algorithm. Now, first statement in program is hash include stdio.h, which is nothing but including standard input output header file. Now, integer main. Okay, main function is written. First of all, we need to declare the variables. After declaration of variables, we will print the message to the user that with the help of printf statement, that is printf enter the three numbers. Now, to scan the numbers from users in C, there is a statement called as a scanf. Scanf specify the format specifier format specifier for integer, it is the %d, %d. Why 3 times %d is written? To scan the 3 numbers which is written, which is in the variable A, B and C. Okay. Then we have kept max as first number as the A. Now we fifth step in algorithm is B is greater than max. So max will be B. If C is greater than max, max will be C. And we have to print the largest number which is in the max only and return 0. Okay. Now if we try to run this program in language, okay, here I am using online platform, online GD. Okay. Now here program, first of all we need to select the language, in which language we want to execute our program. Okay. First of all I need to check this double inverted, which is different in case of text. Okay, then I can run the program. So I have to enter the largest numbers. The largest number is 30. So in this way, we can see the output of the program. Now, returning back to the presentation. Now, we have seen up to this one-way decision. Now, two-way decision. Now, for the two-way decision, we are using if-else statement. If condition, then true statement, else the false statement. Now here we can now check the flow chart. Okay, so here some statements are there and here condition is there. If this condition becomes true, this statement, true statement will be executed, and if the condition becomes false, else statement will be executed. Okay. Now if else is used, if the condition becomes false, then else part will be used. If the condition becomes true, then if part will be used. Now here, suppose we have to write a program that will print the largest among the two numbers. Now here we have to take the input of two numbers, that is A and B, and we will check for the condition that whether A is greater than B or not. If A is greater than B, then max will be A, else max will be B. And we have to print the largest number as max. Now, how we will write it in a program? So again, header file include, we have to include the header file, then integer main, and scan the two numbers, that is A and B, which will be used by, which will be scanned by using scanf statement. Then if A is greater than B, then max will be A, else max will be B. Now, whatever the largest number is there, that is given in the, that is again equal to in the max variable. So that's why we will print here largest number is %d max. Okay. Then the next, that is multi-way decisions. Now multi-way decisions can be done with the help of if, else, if ladder. Now here, why it is called as if, else, if ladder. Now here, if condition becomes true, statement T1 will be executed. Then else, if it will check for the second condition. For the second condition, if the second condition becomes true, statement T2 will be executed. Else, again, if we want to check the third condition statement and that condition becomes true, statement T3 will be executed. And likewise, we can give n number of conditions in a if, else, if ladder. And finally, the false statement will be executed. That is called as a if, else, if ladder. Now, see the flowchart of the if, else, if ladder or construct. Okay. So this is condition 1, condition 2, condition 3, 4, up to n number of conditions are there. If that condition becomes true, this statement will be executed. Otherwise, it will check for the next condition. Okay. Otherwise, it will check for the next condition. Now here, if condition 2 has been false, then it will check for the next condition, that is the condition 3, and if this condition 3 becomes true, it will execute this statement. Okay, this is the flowchart of if else if ladder. Now by using if else if ladder, we want to check whether the given number is 0, positive or negative. Now here 0, positive and negative. How we can check the number is 0, positive or negative? Now if for 0 it is very simple, that is if the number value is 0, then we will say that number is 0. Else if the number is greater than 0, then we will print it is positive. Otherwise, when both the conditions becomes false, we can say that it is not greater than 0, it is not equal to 0, that means it is less than 0, so the number is negative. Now we will execute this program in online JDB only. Okay, now here instead of all these variables, I will take only one variable x, and I want to check for that variable. Okay, I want to check for that variable. Now first of all, scan the number from user. So I will write here, enter the value of x, then scanf %d and %x. Okay, now we have to check for if x is greater than 0. Then what we need to print? Printf number is positive. Else what we have to check? We have to check the condition that else if x equal to 0, then we have to print number is 0. Number is 0. Else, in else part, if the both conditions are false, that means number is not greater than 0, not equal to 0. What we will print? Number is negative. Number is negative. Okay. Now I will run this program. Enter the value of x, which is 5. The number is positive. What is the output of this program? Number is positive. If I run it again and I will put the value of x is 0, the number is 0. Now if you observe here, only one statement is used here in if or else. So that's why I have not given the brackets. So if there are, this is called as a simple statement. If it has more than one statement, then it is called as a compound statement. Okay, so here if I want to print the number, then two statements are there. So for these two statements, I will write here, or I will use here the brackets. If two statements are there, so I have to use the brackets. Okay, now if I run this program and I enter the value of x as 3, so number is positive and number is 3. Both the statements will be executed. Otherwise, when you are not giving brackets to the to this, then it will consider only one statement in that bracket, and it will show the error of misplaced else. Okay. Now this is regarding the if else if ladder. Now the next, that is nested if. Now when any if statement is written under the another if statement, this cluster is called as a nested if. So there are two ways by which we can use the nested if. If condition, then again next if condition 2 and statement else का statement आएगा, यहाँ पे भी एल्स का स्टेटमेंट कौन सा, किसका एल्स है ये, कंडीशन वंस का एल्स है ये, तो ये हो गया। एंड सेकेंड टाइप ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर इट इज द इफ, फर्स्ट कंडीशन इफ, सेकेंड कंडीशन एल्स, एल्स पार्ट इफ, ये इफ का एल्स, ये इफ का एल्स आएगा, एल्स में फिर से क्या है, इफ है, so it is called as a if के अंदर if है, that's why it is called as a nested if. Okay, now if we want to find out the largest number among the three using the nested if, nested if से अगर हमें find out करना, then it will be read a b c, read the three numbers, then we will check first of all if a is greater than b. If this condition becomes true, then we will check whether a is greater than c also. So we will check here whether a is greater than c also. If this condition also becomes true, then we have to print a. Otherwise, we will check, we will print c. Okay. Now, again coming to this condition, that is a is greater than b. If this condition is false, then we will check whether b is greater than c or not. If b is greater than c, then it is, we have to print b. Otherwise, we will print c. We will print c. Okay. So this flow chart, how we can convert this flow chart into program? So first of all, we have to start with the integer main, then declaration of variable, then read the three variables. Now check a is greater than b. A is greater than b. If this condition is true, then we will execute this part. That means this code is for right side part. Okay. If a is greater than c, then a is greater than b and c. So the largest number is a. Else we have to print largest number is c. Now else part. If this condition becomes false, then we will check which condition, b is greater than c. If b is greater than c, then printf %d, that is we have to print b. Else we have to print the c. Okay. Now next is multi-way decisions. Multi-way decisions are with the help of switch statement. Now format for switch statement is switch expression, then case 1 में जो भी कुछ statements है उसकी list, and then we have to use the break. Likewise for n number of cases, and at the end we can write default case. So here default case is optional, and this is the flow chart, that is when the expression result is equal to the constant one, then statement list 1 will be executed. If it is not equal to constant 1, it will check for constant 2. Statement list 2 will be executed if this condition becomes true. And likewise for the n number of constants, and default, when all the condition becomes false, then the default case will be whatever the statements that are in default, that will be executed.